If a subcontractor burns down a house on your job site and they don't have the right insurance, guess who pays for it? You do. I have seen general contractors go out of business because the sub made a mistake and the claim tore through the GC's own policy limit and ruined their loss history. If you're hiring subs in Texas, you are no longer just a builder, you are a risk manager. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what insurance requirements you need to put in your subcontractor agreements to lock in your protection. We're going to discuss additional insured status, waiver of subrogation, and why you need to collect their certificates of insurance before they hammer a single nail. There is also a specific date on every subcontractor's policy that you have to check on their coverage might be void for your specific project, and we'll show you where to find it. The concept we are talking about today is called risk transfer. It basically means that the person making the money for the work should be the one taking the risk for the work. If you hire a plumber, you want the plumber's insurance to pay if a pipe bursts. You do not want it hitting your general liability. To make this happen, you cannot just ask for proof of insurance. You need to ask 3 specific endorsements. First is additional insured. You need to be listed as an additional insured on their policy. But be careful. Most cheap policies only give you additional insured status for ongoing operations. This means you are covered while they are on the job site. But if their work fails 6 months after they leave and causes a fire, you are not covered unless you are also required additional insured status for completed operations. You need to look for these specific form numbers, CG 2010 and CG 2037. If you do not see both, you are exposed. Second is primary and non-contributory. This is a fancy way of saying their insurance pays first, and their insurance cannot ask your insurance to chip in. Without this endorsement, their carrier might try to drag your policy into a lawsuit just to share the cost. Third is waiver of subrogation. This prevents their insurance carrier from paying a claim and then turning around and suing you to get their money back. It is a critical layer of protection that keeps your loss history clean. Now, here's the trap. A lot of subcontractors in Texas buy the cheapest insurance they can find just to get a certificate so they can get on the job. We talk a lot about the difference between a policy that works and a cheap policy. Cheap policies often have exclusions for residential work or height limitations that say they are not covered if they work above 2 stories. If your roofer has a height limitation exclusion and falls off a 3-story roof, his insurance pays 0 and the lawsuit comes to you. So how do you police this? You need a subcontractor agreement that spells out these insurance requirements clearly. And you need to actually read the certificate of insurance that are sent to you. Do not just file it away. Look at the description of operations box. Does it list you as additional insured? Does it have the waiver of subrogation? And here's the specific date I mentioned earlier. Look at the policy expiration. If the policy expires in the middle of your project, you need a system to track that and demand a renewal certificate. If they left their policy lapse on a Friday and burned the building down on Monday, you're on the hook. Managing subcontractors is the hardest part of being a GC, but getting the insurance right is the only way to sleep at night. But even if you do have everything right with your subs, there's still a massive gap that hits general contractors years after the project is finished. It is called the completed operations gap, and it is the #1 reason we see contractors get sued when they think they are safe. In the next video, we're going to break down exactly how long you are liable for your work in Texas and how to protect yourself from lawsuits that happen 3 or 4 years down the road.